Hi, welcome to another Terrain Direct video. In this video I am going to, one, experiment with my movie software. So if it doesn't work, if I'm pointing at something saying there's going to be something there, don't worry about it, it just means I haven't got the knowledge to actually do what it is. So this video is basically, what is a Necroplaza? What is a Necroplaza? Does anyone know what a Necroplaza is? Google it. I can assure you that if you put it on Google and you actually type in Necroplaza, all one word, what's going to come up is a load of my videos right at the top of Google. Yay! Necroplaza doesn't seem to be an actual official word. So what is Necroplaza? Necroplaza is two words. Necro, which is the geek word for death. Plaza. Plaza is basically city. City square, whatever. Combine these two together. What do we have? Death, city. Yep. So the Necroplaza. Death City. Not quite English. Not to my standards, because in English language we always stick an of in the middle of pretty much anything that has two sorts of words. So we're going to switch these around, that one over to there, that one over to here, we're going to stick an of in here, and so what have we got? City of Death. That's what a Necroplaza is. City of Death. I've created a new word. Necroplaza. Yay! Okay, so the whole point of the Necroplaza, the whole platform of it is, I'm a old school gamer. I am an old school gamer. I've been playing Warhammer for so long. I'm more of a fantasy player than 40k player, but I like specific sorts of games which now are unavailable. Necromunda, hence Necroplaza. The Necroplaza is actually going to be designed for Necromunda play. It can be easily used in 40k battle, very easily. It can be used in other gaming formats as well, as long as it's of a 28mm scale. Basically, the gangs that I have for Necromunda, for those of you that know what Necromunda is, Necromunda is a brilliant game. I love it. And as I said, I'm old school. But the gangs that I actually have are Escher, Orlok, Delaque, or Delqua, whichever way you want to put it. So the terrain that you actually originally get with the box set, you've got these wicked fantastic plastic bulkheads that you snap on together, and then inside that there was all slots down the sides and at the tops, and you could fit cardboard in between them, and they used to create big towers, huge towers, and used to set up a whole big plaza, basically. Over time the cardboard pieces have worn away, and they've gone to a certain stage where now my game is actually unplayable. So what did I do? I got rid of all my bulkheads, thinking, well, that's the end of that. And one day I decided, I've seen a paint stripping video online, so I'm going to give it a go. And I threw my whole Escher gang into a paint stripper. And they came out really perfectly clean. So I thought, well, I'm going to rebase coat these. And in the process of rebasing coat that, I stuck all the rest of the models in to be paint stripped. And when they were all out, I was actually thinking about when I first actually got the game, now regretting getting rid of all the bulkheads. Why I was actually base coating the models, I was like, well, now I've got nothing to play them on, so I'm going to create the cityscape for it, which I've deemed as the Necroplaza. So that's what all these buildings are. So, in a nutshell, Necroplaza, City of Death. I think that's a really cool name, actually. I didn't actually think about this for mass periods of time or anything like that. I actually just came up with it. I was actually sat down eating my dinner and it went bing straight into my head. So the pieces of terrain that I'm going to create in the Necroplaza, instead of just spooling on and talking a load of waffle, you've seen the landing pad, you've seen the substation, you've seen the ore processing plant, you've seen the communication tower, and there's another one which I've completely forgotten what actual function that it actually gives. You've seen the factory building. What you haven't seen or don't know as yet is there's going to be a generator. There is going to be a power connecting system, which basically allows me to make it look as though the generator is connected to the substation, which could be over the other side of the battlefield. So these things will actually sit in the middle, which will house cables which go between them, to make it all follow around. I can also add cables to walkways, so these things can actually arc up and go over and connect into the walkways, then making it look like the power's going over the walkways, which is connecting to the building, which is giving the building power. I'm thinking. So what else is there? Blah 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 blah. Da 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 da. I've actually had all this actually mapped out in my head, and when I'm now making this video, it's gone. This happens sometimes. It really does. Waffling on again anyway. So there's going to be a habitat ring. There needs to be a habitat ring because in some point in time in this Necroplaza, or this huge city, which was once a thriving city with industrial and living accommodation, that it was, people were actually living in it, families were living in it, so on and so forth. Basically, there's got to be a habitat ring. So I'm going to create a building which was a habitation building. Any city that's out in the middle of space is prone to attack, so there's going to have to be a HQ. This is probably where Space Marines have dropped off at a certain point in time, or Imperial Guards actually sat in protecting the planet until such a period as where the planet's actually become under attack and they've no longer been able to sustain the amount of bombardment, so they've actually gone back home, which has now left it as a Necroplaza, a city of death. So what else is there? The radar, there's going to be a radar system. It's only going to be a very small piece of terrain. There's going to be multiple objective markers which I'm going to create for the actual system, so whether they're planted inside a building, whether they're actually planted outside of a building. There's going to be multiple small irrelevant pieces of terrain which are just like barrel stacks, ammo crates, waste rubble, which can actually be put at the side of a building or maybe moved and placed into the middle. Chemical refinery factory. I wasn't actually wanting to go and say this one out loud on the camera because my brain just can't cope with a chemical factory, because I know it's going to mean going into water effects, and it's one area where my knowledge actually really lacks. So anybody that knows anything about water effects, please leave a comment, please suggest videos. The one site that I actually follow, which I'm actually going to plug right now because it's an amazing site, is Terranscapes videos. He's done loads of different water effects videos on there, and I'm guessing using some of his, some of Mike from Terranscapes' actual successes and failures will allow me to actually get what I want. There's a certain one of his water effects videos where he actually used as an experiment actual silicon from a caulking gun. For his sort of project that he was doing, it didn't look right, but for a chemical factory I think that would actually look right, so I'm going to go back to his videos once again and actually watch all of his water effects videos again. I've probably watched them about 4 times already, maybe even more. but it's actually a pleasure to watch that guy work and come up with these. The information is so out there, it's so simple to follow. He explains everything in crystal clarity detail. So if you've never actually seen Terranscape's actual channel, I'll go and check that one out. Definitely go and check that one out. So after the chemical factory, what else is there? What I'm going to be probably doing is making a couple more factory buildings. Not necessarily have any major ideas of these yet, but I come up with ideas as I'm going on with this building. But I do need to make a couple of factory buildings, probably one that's creating vehicles or so on and so forth. Maybe a ammunition factory, or I can't actually pronounce that word. I'm not even going to bother attempting to pronounce the original proper English word that it is. Ammo factory. So obviously it'll be like rockets that's maybe actually even been the cause of the Necroplaza. That maybe a malfunction in the rocket and it's gone and pretty much wiped out most of the life, leaving the gangs from Necromunda fighting over what's left of this actual city. So I'm going to wrap this video up from there, because else anymore I'm just going to waffle on. I'm going to waste a load of your time, and I don't really want to do that. So I hope this has given you some sort of idea of what the Necroplaza that I'm building is all about, and it may give you a little bit more information into what I'm actually trying to achieve, and maybe even you've come up and thinking, oh, now if he was building this sort of city, why has he not built one of those, where that would be key to this sort of city, if I've actually forgotten something. Don't be shy, leave a comment, and I'll try and reply to the comments as I get them. Maybe you'll come up with an idea saying, oh, he needs building X, and I will actually maybe go, hey, yeah, I do really need that, and I'll build that building, and I'll give credit to the person that actually has come up with that idea. I'm quite happy to give credit to those people that actually do the work, who do the work and then give it, and then if I copy their sorts of work, I will give credit to that person. It's only fair. It's their ideas, it's their time, and it's them that's actually brought that forward to you. So why should you claim their idea? It's only fair. Anyway, waffling again, and that's something that I said I wasn't going to go and try and do. So take care, stay safe, and happy wargaming. Take care. Bye bye.